Globalisation is the process by which the world is becoming increasingly interconnected, and as a result of this, there is an increase on trade and cultural exchange. Globalisation has resulted in increased international trade, companies operating in more than one country, greater dependence on the global economy, free movement of capital, goods and services, recognition of companies such as McDonald's and Starbucks. Alright, let's go. 3, 2, Yanan's more 1. Although globalization has constantly been occurring in some degree across the entire of both ancient and contemporary history, though ancient efforts were mostly just international trade between neighboring empires. The real development of globalization has occurred throughout the last 60 years, the main cause of this being a global consensus among world leaders to bring about world peace, the means of which being a collaborative, communicative and combined world.
The globalization process has many different effects on different countries. For example, in Australia it has a good effect, as we are a wealthy country and our connection with other countries become stronger, which allows Australia to bring in more money. With the more money Australia brings in, it allows for the citizens to make more money while working. Australia is a wealthy country, but for other countries it is not as developed as Australia. For example, if people work a full day, they can only get up to $1 for the whole day. But in Australia, the minimum pay for a whole 1 hour is $12. If you show that in the facts, Australia is a lot more wealthier than other countries such as China. The quality of life will be different for each country. For example, the quality in Australia is very good, as people can have a shelter over their heads, no matter how much they have. But if people don't have that much money and less fortunate, the government give them money. Unlike other countries, the government don't give them any money because they're not wealthy enough to give them even $1 to help them get a roof over their head or even to get a food for their day.
The globalization process has changed education all over the world. The effects on education led to rapid developments in technology, communication and learning systems all around the world. Most of the foods that everyone eats today are the product of globalization. The globalization process of food may lead to negative possibilities and other costs, such as the economic cost of food production. It would be hard to describe if globalization was either good or bad for health. There is a chance that globalization can be bad. For example, in rich and developed countries, they are afraid of people from other countries to come and spread certain diseases. But on the positive side, the migration of health professionals can have a huge effect for the countries that have understaffed medical care. Globalization has been affecting everyone all over the world, with them having different ways of living, from a mansion to a tent. But for some people, they have it unlucky compared to us. All over the world, there is a lack of shelter. This has led to people who are less fortunate living in slums. Slums are areas where people live in inadequate living conditions. Shelter is important. It is one of the ways we are still alive. Globalization has affected 460 million people who have serious water shortages, with 1.2 billion people not having access to safe drinking water. Globalization has modernized and industrialized the world. It has affected agrarian countries such as India and China. These two countries are achieving more knowledge and wealth because of globalization. These countries are now able to buy more material due to their newly acquired wealth, which directly translates to more of everything. The increase of consumption trends could lead to the shortage of natural resources around the world.
Rich companies in developing countries should only receive 75% of their money and donate the 25% to the countries who really need money. Despite the fact that in the process of globalization, rich nations are all but required to give financial, military or political help to poor countries, the gap, mainly financially, between the first, second and third world has been becoming gradually smaller. The rich have been made to pony up money, putting themselves down while simultaneously propping up the poor developing nations that give nothing back to the rich that have made them what they are.